Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully created our incremented page, and that is our incremented our employee user data, right? So right now from to this position I want to insert that data, that means the salary amount and then the effective date. That means if you go to our user table, into the user table, if you go to that structure, into the structure here, that is one of the field as a salary, right? So into this salary table they have already one of the data for, that means the salary data for this employee, right? So now I have to actually calculated this data, and also we have to insert another data with our this employee ID, and that means incremented salary will be added, right? That means our previous salary, that is our present salary, and here it will be as the incremented salary. So now I want to insert. So now I have to save this data in our both of this place. Okay, that means both of these places we have to insert it. If you go to that browse, so to the browse area, so right now that is our employee, and to the employee, if you go to that employee, this employee salary right now, and that is actually the salary. You can see that is our salary. So it is a salary, that is our 3000, and also that is the same data is actually inserted as a present. If you go there, you can see as the same data is also inserted on here as a present salary. So that is a present salary and the previous salary. So before I have already insert this data when I actually complete that registration portion for this employee. So right now I want to actually increment our this new data. Okay, so if you want to do that work, I have also created one of the method, that means into the increment, that means the employee sales increment, I have created one of the route as an update increment store with ID, and into the web, so I have created one of the method as a salary store. So that is our salary store method in our employee salary controller. So friend, that is one of the post method, right? So into the when you actually use that post method, as I told you, we have to add that request, and also that have one of the ID. So first of all we have to pass everything. We have to pass that request, and that will be as a dollar request, and also we have to pass that our requested ID, right? And then I want to find out our specific this requested employee user salary field data, right? So right now I want to add one of the variable as a user, and with this user, with our user model. So with this user model I want to find that our specific ID data first, so that will be our requested ID data, right? And then I want to add that our name of another variable as a previous salary. Previous salary means whatever the salary right now already into the salary field, right? So I name it as a previous underscore salary. So that will be a previous salary as I told you. So I get a specific row ID data, take that things with this user. So now with this user I want to access our user table. If you go to our user table, and into the user table, that is the salary. You can see right now already they have one of the amount, that means the present salary. So right now I want to get this amount. So with this user I want to get this our field name as a salary. So that will be as a salary, right? So now I want to do with this user, I want to access our salary field, that will be as a salary. So now I want to put one of the condition. That means not that condition, I want to actually calculate that data. That means this data will be, I take one of the variable as a present salary, present underscore salary. So present salary will be what? Present salary will be which already they have into the salary field. Into the salary field they have one of the data, right? And also from to this position I pass one of the incremented data. So I pass that our this incremented salary data. When two of this will be as a sum, then I want to actually get this appropriate salary, right? So now I want to add that as a present salary will be our this user a specific into the salary field, into the salary field they have one of the data. So this data I take the things with this variable, right? So now I copy it, and I want to make it some of the float, because some of the time it may have some of the count amount. So now I want to make it as a float. So I make it as a float, and float will be with this float, I want to use it our this previous salary, and previous salary plus what, plus our incremented salary, right? So here I have also add some of the data. So this data will be our incremented salary. So our previous salary in our salary field, into the salary field right now, that is actually the like as a 3000, and whenever the data you actually inserted it on here, that will be our incremented salary as a 1000. That means in total right now our present salary will be as a 4000, right? So for the reasons here I put on the sum as our previous salary plus our right now our incremented salary. So right now if you want to use that, add that our incremented salary, so that is in our which position, that is in our salary. So from to this position I have already passed this incremented salary, right? So that means that is our requested data, that is our requested this field data. So now I want to do and to pass it. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. So now I also want to make it as a float, and then with this request I want to access our this field as an increment salary, right? So that is our previous data, that plus our whatever the incremented salary, I will pass it from to this position. As I told you, if I add that 1000, that will be also added. So it will be add our previous one and plus our incremented salary. So that will be our this employee present salary, right friend? Perfect. So now I want to take it with another variable. So that is our user. So with this user I want to access our salary field. So our salary field will be right now I take this two of this data. That means I take calculated two of this data and take the things in our this variable as a present salary. So now into the user area, that salary will be our this present salary, right friend? So right now I want to simply save it. That means with this user I save this data. It's perfect. So that will be I save it. So that's all we have to do, right? So now also we have to add another data. We have to add this incremented, that means the salary amount data and the affected data in our this table. So that is our employee salary logs. So for the employee salary logs I have also created another model. So if you go there, you can see there is a model as an employee salary log. So here I want to insert it also. Okay, so now I copy it, and then after this I take another one. I name it as a salary data, one of the variable salary data, and then I create that object of this model. So I simply create it. Okay, so now I want to create this new one of the salary data. So here I name it with this salary. Okay, with this salary data I want to access our first of all ID. Our ID means into the salary data, that first of all we have to actually join this. That means that employee data will be our user table ID, right? So now I want to pass it. So that is our employee. Okay, employee underscore ID. Employee ID will be our this user table ID. Okay, I name it as ID. That means this user table, this ID. So now I simply pass it. Perfect. And then we have to add all that our field. So better I make it as a salary data. So with this salary data, our field name, if you go, that is a previous salary. So better I go to that structure. So that will be our previous salary. So that is our previous salary. So previous salary will be what? Previous salary will be our here I take it to this user specific with this salary field. I take the things with this variable, right? So that will be our this one. Simple. I just simply add it, and then I also want to access our another field. Better I want to copy it because they have some of the field. So that is our salary field, and then previous salary. So with this salary right now I want to access our another field, as a present salary, increment salary. So now I take that as a increment salary. So with this, that will be as an increment salary, and into the increment salary means what? Increment salary means our requested. So from here I pass that our requested data as increment salary, right? So that will be into the request. That will be as a request. Okay, that means the requested our field name as incremented field name. Perfect. And then also I want to access our another field will be as a present salary. So now I copy that present salary, and present salary will be what? I think at that point you understand that part. Present salary will be, obviously I take that this salary and take the things with this variable, right? So that is our present salary, because here I have also calculated both of these data. So right now that will be obviously our present salary, right friend? And also after that I want to take another one as the salary data. So with the salary data, our another field I pass it as effected salary, right? That means our date. You can see from this position also we have to pass it, that is our effected date. So effected date field name as effected salary, I copy it. So effected salary will be our requested effected salary, right? And also I want to use that as a date format. That means the date format, into the date format, that will be first of all as a year, and then that will be as a month, and then the date, okay? And then star to time will be our this field name. That means the request, and requested field name means in our employee salary incremented, I name it as effected salary name, right? So that will be our requested name. Perfect. So, and then I want to simply with this salary data, I want to save this data. Okay, I simply save it. And after that save, if you want to display some of the message with using the toaster, I think you already know about that part. Better in our here I use it, not you can see that is actually the notification. So right now I want to copy it. I have already discussed about a lot of the time about this. I copy it and now go to our employee salary controller, and after that it will be show some of the notification. A notification will be as a some employee salary increment successfully. Okay, so this type of one of the notification, the message will be visible, and after that it will be redirect to our this route. That means in our web I have also created one of the employee view page. It will be redirect to particular this page. I copy it, and then it will be redirect our this route as a view route. Okay, so I simply pass it on here with this notification. So here I simply pass it and then with this notification. Perfect. So that is our AND method. So that's all we have to do. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. So it's pretty much simple, one of the trick. So here with this calculated the data, I get our specific present salary of this employee user, and also I insert this data in particular this field with our this employee salary model. Okay, so make that sure you have to add it. So I have already add this as a employee salary log. So right now with this we can actually use it. So now let's check this out. If everything okay, it should be work. Now if you click as a save all and now go there. So right now in our employee salary log, if you go there, so right now you can see there is a 22 and 23. That means there are the two employee data. So now I want to increment, right? When you increment, it should be insert another data. Okay, with the same ID it should be insert another one. I show you like here. If you go to again the salary, that means employee salary view page. So right now there is a test user. So this user right now there is salary as a 4,000. So now if you click as a increment, so now I want to increment this user. Okay, I want to increment as a 1,000. That means it should be as a right now 5,000. And also I put one of the effected date. I put that effected date as a today. Okay, I put that as a today. That is a date format. And now after that, if you click as a submit, now you can see it's now showing as the employee salary increment successfully, right? And you can see friend, now our this salary is updated. So here it's now showing as a 5,000, right? So now everything will be very clear to you. So for this user, if you now go and here now if you click as a browse, yes, you can see right now there is another incremented salary is added as a 1,000. So our user is the same. User is the 23 user, right? So 23 user means if you go to our user table, into the user table, that is the 23 here, and that is the 23, right? So that is a 23 as a test user. So for this test user I have incremented. So before that was salary as a 4,000, so I add this 4,000, and insert this data into the increment as a 1000. So after that, that will be our present salary, right? So that is our previous salary, and I get that our user table use salary field data. So previous salary plus our requested data. Okay, so that means the requested salary amount. So from here I pass as a 1000. So that is our requested amount for our increment salary. So I simply pass it, and after that I simply updated in our employee salary table. Everything is great. I hope, friend, it is very much clear to you, right? So right now you can see our present salary is now updated. Our present salary right now as a 5000, right? Before that was as a 4000. Now I increment as a 1000, and now it's updated as a 5000. Perfect. So here we are able to increment this employee salary perfectly, right, friend? So right now, if you want to make it as a details, that means if you want to check that details history of this employee, how can display this employee history details for the increment into that. I have already added one of the button as a details. So better, I want to continue this process. In our next video, I will discuss about this details page. Okay. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.